Hey everybody, this is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design. Today, we're talking about the power of design to influence everyday lives in positive and profound ways as we celebrate 15 years of the Shaw Contract Design Awards. Wow. And I have two very special guests and dear friends, John Stevens, VP of Marketing for Shaw Contract, and Ken Wilson, Principal of Perkins & Will, who has been both a judge and a winner. We'll hear about that. Hi, guys.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Cindy. How are you?
It's great to see you. How are you guys doing?
Like really well in global pandemic adjusted terms. We're doing fantastic.
Exactly. All right, well, let's talk about some good news, because 2020 is a lot of things of the Shaw Contract Design Awards. John, that is quite a feat.
You know, it's kind of hard to believe, especially from where the program started and sort of the germ of an idea of a way to celebrate design and be able to see projects really initially mostly from the US, but it's turned in certainly to a global program that allows us to celebrate designers and work from around the globe, but also see work from around the globe.
Right, I always say, like, you work on these projects in terms of getting the goods, right? Getting the carpet to projects all around the world. You don't necessarily.
It's really great. And I will say when all the projects are in, like in a row, have you seen this first kind of, all the projects come alive.
Yeah. Started and
I was thinking about this week, Cindy. The first idea for the program, I was actually in Nick Lazzetti's office.
Oh.
I love it when you guys come in and show us your new products, but what we really love to see are projects that other people have done. And when we look at them, we'll make fun of them, but afterwards we'll steal their ideas, right? So, very Nick. That was almost the germ of how would we do that? One, be able to see work, but also emerged into how do we celebrate that? So the first year we actually worked with Bruce Mao and Bruce Mao Design, who really helped us design the soul of the program, what it looked like.
Right.
And I think the first year we had probably 100 entries, almost all of them from the US and Canada. And this, last year we had, I think, over 700 entries from 35 countries. So it has changed in scope and scale, but at its core, it's still a way for us to celebrate not just the work, but the people who are doing that work and the impact it has.
Absolutely. I mean, the global perspective, I always say that when you realize that you're touching people all over the world, that's when you have an amazing idea, right?
Yeah.
So you were a judge early on, huh?
Yes, I was. John called me up and said, would you like to fly out to Napa Valley and judge this design awards we're doing? And I was not, it was kind of a no-brainer. So they treat the judges very nicely, I have to say. And it was great, but what was really interesting to me is to see the development of this award. It did start out small with like 100 entries, as John was saying. But now it's grown into a really totally legit, global design award. And as a matter of fact, my colleague in London was on the jury last year. And so not only is it's truly an international award because the jury comes from all over the world. So that's really great. I mean, hands off to you, John. I mean, you've done a fabulous job with this.
And John, now with what we're going through in the pandemic, I imagine there's more virtual for this year, but that, you know, creates opportunity for you guys too in terms of judging, right?
Yeah, you know, early on, we debated whether we should skip a year. And we talked about that for about a minute. And then people on our team, actually Natalie Jones, who's our marketing director, said more than ever, we need to celebrate design, and we need to have, you know, for ourselves and our community, more reasons to celebrate and appreciate the work it's doing. So we started rethinking how we would do it. Yeah, because we can't bring judges to one location, whether it's Napa or New York or Atlanta, where we've done it. But it did open up new opportunities. We're actually going to have 24 judges on the panel this year, connecting all over the globe in different time zones to be able to bring people together. One, to have a range of people looking at work in different perspectives from the kinds of firms and the kinds of work they do and geographic perspectives, that level of diversity, but also expand the community, which that's been an important part of this award is not only the community of winners, but the community of judges who've been able to connect to each other from all over the world.
Right, and you know, at the end of the day, it's all about design, which is why I was so excited when you wanted to do this program together and you brought Ken on, because we always want to have that kind of representation always, right? So Ken, I understand you were entry number 5. The first winning project was the headquarters for the IIDA, right?
Yes, that's correct. And that was a great project for us. First of all, we were super honored to be selected by IIDA, and it was one of those projects that took a while. We started in one place and moved to another, different locations in the Mart. So it was over the period of 3 different presidents of the IIDA, but they were wonderful and sympathetic to work with at the same time. But that was a great project, and it was also the first Design Association headquarters to become LEED certified at the time, and so that was a big deal. And we're very proud to do that project.
Yeah, when was that? How far back was that?
I want to say, was it 2008, John? I think it was.
Probably
like a dozen years ago. They're in a new space now, of course. Yeah. Todd Heiser did that space, and he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, you're so lovely, Ken. Honestly, you're like the nicest guy ever. But also, let's not forget the fact that you really were and are a pioneer. But you were a pioneer when it wasn't cool to be sustainable. You had that mission, and you also were designing projects that looked really good, that were sustainable, which back then we didn't have the kind of products that we have available now. So that's saying a lot, and hats off to you.
Well, thanks very much, Cindy. Yeah, there were very few really truly green projects back 20 years ago when we started doing this. And when I, prior to joining Perkins & Will, I had my own firm, Infusion, and our first project as a firm back in 1999 was to do the headquarters for Greenpeace that used Shaw carpet. And because in looking at all the flooring materials, Shaw had a really good product and it passed the Greenpeace muster. And so John and I go back at least that far, right, John? It's been at least 21 years now.
Wait,
right?
John, that was a big project for you to score, right?
Oh, it was a big celebration to be able to work, be involved in the Greenpeace headquarters, and really the message that sent about our commitment, you know, to sustainability and cradle to cradle, and to work with Ken. It was pretty awesome. You
want to hear something crazy, John? Greenpeace is still in their space, and that carpet is still on the floor, and it still looks pretty good.
That's amazing.
Here's the big test. What carpet was that?
I can tell you what it was. It was our collection, Green with Envy. No, I remember it very.
Thank you, John, because I did not remember that.
You passed the test, John. That's amazing. You don't forget projects like that, right?
No, you absolutely do not. I can tell you what carpet was in the IIDA headquarters.
What carpet? What carpet?
It was our collection silk.
Nice.
Now, I still remember the elevator on the 5th floor opening up for the first time there in the Mart at IIDA and seeing it, and we were all incredibly proud to be a part of that work.
Yeah, by the way, okay, it's a long time ago now, but that was a big deal. That project was a big deal, which we published, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much, Cindy.
Yeah, so you were a judge, and then you were with Infusion when you won the IIDA.
Yes.
The award, and then another project, Nixon Peabody. So tell us about that.
Well, Nixon was a great project. They were a fantastic client. And one thing that was interesting about that project is the client, the managing director of the DC office of Nixon Peabody, was an old friend of mine. He's lived across the street from me for 20 years.
Oh, really?
So we're good friends. We've gone on vacation together, and he's just a wonderful guy. I never thought he'd ever be a client, but he ended up being a client. And so we did that project, and he was very interested in green. Believe it or not, he was a LEED accredited lawyer, if you can believe that.
Oh,
and a guy that's very interested in design, and he had a daughter that studied design. Anyway. So they were a great client, and that was a wonderful project. And, what I think is interesting is that, with the Shaw Contract Award, when we enter those things, we're always a little bit worried that we're showing photographs of parts of our project, and not all of them have Shaw carpet in them,
Mm-hmm.
And so we're always a little concerned about that. Like Nixon had a beautiful wood floor in their reception area, and some of those real kind of money shots. And of course, Eric Laniel photographed everything beautifully.
Amazing.
But really that's not part of it, which is really nice. The project needs to have Shaw carpet somewhere, and it did a lot of it in the office areas and things. But I thought that's a very nice thing, like that Shaw does, that it's really more about the design and less about necessarily present our carpet well,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's about the whole, right? It's about
absolutely, yeah, it really is.
And so John, why did those projects win? Why did Ken's projects win?
Yeah, I think back in how the jury talked about it. One, it was really unexpected for a law firm. How open it was, the fact that they created real public space in a space there where events could happen. It really was open and connected to the community. But the level of finishes were fantastic, and I think everyone appreciated that. But I think the innovative approach to a law firm and the way a firm engages not just with their clients, with the community, and how well executed it was and the fact that it was sustainable, and the work that Ken and the Perkins Will team did on that.
Yeah.
It was a LEED Platinum project too.
It was, and also we had a big party there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember that. Yeah,
so you do have projects that like resonate in a way that are really special. And so I guess it goes both ways. Like Shaw, you want to celebrate that too. So it's amazing that he's submitting that project, and that in the same way you're getting honored. So Ken, as a firm, like, why do you enter competitions?
Well, really, at the end of the day, it's really for our staff, I think, because I can't honestly say that we win clients because of design awards, because even though it might be published in a magazine or get some press in the design community, our clients really don't follow that or see that so much. But what's really great about it is that, the team puts in a lot of effort, and to have a project that's at the, a global design award level,
right,
you really have to get everything right. And it's a lot of work, and you can't, and it doesn't just happen. You have to work really hard on it. And sometimes, it goes really well up until the end, and then the client gets a little crazy, and then, it doesn't happen. But it's really about about our staff, and it's really good for morale. Obviously, when you win a design award, it's great for recruiting. Most young designers, the talent wants to work in award-winning design firms.
Right.
And so really it's a combination of those things, but it's really about our staff at the end of the day, and always making, giving them credit for the hard work that they do.
Yeah, you definitely want to do that. And then John, you must learn a lot about the carpet and the collections themselves, and even maybe there's some surprises that you guys don't expect to understand about what's getting specified, how, where, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely learned a lot about that in unexpected ways, and it really has informed our design team. Reese Duncan, who's our leads design for Shaw Contract, who's amazing. But we'll get insights into how people are using things that are surprising to us, and it literally has changed the way we design product based on those applications and the creativity our clients are using and how they're putting materials together in really unexpected ways.
Yeah. So I want you to think back to, I don't know, give me a fun story, a fun anecdote about some of the past judging. Can you think of any?
Yeah. So I'll give you definitely who the jury is. We spend a lot of time trying to put together a jury that's going to work together, that brings insights into projects. So when they're judging the work, whether it's different size firms, different geography, or different focuses of practice. And also the moderators play a big role, and we've had an amazing group of moderators from John Peterson from Public Architecture in Harvard, to Susan Sinazi, to Mark McMenamin from Interior Design.
Right.
But one year, John Carey was a moderator, and obviously John has done a lot of work in writing about the social impact of design. And one of the projects that won that year was Dress for Success. So it was a tiny little pro bono project. But the way the jury looked at that work and the story behind it, and to see them get so excited about this is what inspires us as designers. It maybe is not a huge budget. It maybe is not something that is going to be published all over the world, but something that has an impact on people's lives. And the designer who did that with a no budget, with pro bono materials, did amazing work. It was beautiful. I mean, it certainly, that's almost a baseline. It's got to be beautiful, but it told such a rich story. It was really gratifying to see a project like that be rewarded.
That was a non-for-profit, right, organization, and the designer was Cynthia Urbaniak, Interior,
Yes.
I believe,
Yeah.
right? Where was that out of?
So it was out of North Carolina. I think it was in Charlotte.
Yeah, no, it's nice when judges kind of rally around an idea, and then they get really excited about it, and then they see it in something, and something it's like, that one was a treasure, right? Like a little treasure.
Yeah, and there was another project. It was interesting. Again, it's how you put together a jury. It was a senior living facility, and some of the judges were commenting it feels disjointed. Spaces don't feel connected to each other. It was almost like a different designer worked on different parts of the community. But there was a judge who, that's what she did. She was specialized in senior living. And she said, okay, people live most of their lives in this community. So it's very intentional to have spaces that were different, spaces that created a different vocabulary, a different language. So it felt like that they were having the active lives and maybe traveling like they did earlier, and all that happened in that single community. So again, to have that level of expertise in that conversation, and really the passion about recognizing people's work was pretty exciting and gratifying to see.
And then it ended up winning, right?
It ended up winning, yeah.
Oh, the power of the jury.
Yes.
But it makes a lot of sense. There was another beautiful project, the Hugh and Cole, the Infusion Center project.
And that was a great story too, because again, the impact that designers have on people's lives. So in that project, they were really intentional not to use the same color, texture, pattern in the infusion area that they used in the doctor's office space. So when the patient would come back to meet with the doctor, there was nothing that reminded them maybe the negative experiences after Infusion. So it just that thoughtful detail that the UN Cole team applied to that work, and thinking about how it impacted the people who were going to be in that space and their quality of life.
Yeah, no, and we know that how important. It's so funny that you're talking about a couple of like healthcare to wellness, sustainability, all those things that we're going to be talking about even more in the future. Sure. But I do love, and from my own opinion also, when judging competitions, just seeing the wide range, seeing the breadth. And there was a little Nando's Central Kitchen that also won.
Yeah, that was a project in South Africa. And it was an amazing example of how the design team pulled culture, the art, and all the furniture. And it was really spoke to that sense of local design, where sometimes you see projects that could be, they could be anywhere. That spoke very specifically to the location and the people that were bringing their different perspectives and points of view to that work. So that, I think it was really great to celebrate a sense of place.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about that project. But, so let's talk about 2020. So it's a completely different perspective. I am so glad that you are doing it and not saying, not falling prey to COVID. So tell us about the judging and the timeline and what it's going to look like.
Yeah, so the call for entry is open now, and it'll be open through, I think, through the second week of October. And then we'll be doing judging because it is all virtual. The first round of judging, in which they'll select projects in each market segment. So the winner and the best projects in small office or healthcare or senior living. And then those winners become the finalists for the overall competition, which will be selected in November and announced by the end of the year.
So it's on. It's going to be on, right?
It is totally on, and it's, again, we spent a lot of time selecting judges that could work together, that bring a diversity of points of view, and it's going to be different than any year in the past. So having a jury from a panel from Asia that's connecting to a panel from the West Coast U.S. So those judges will work together and review work. Again, they have that global point of view and perspective, and I can't wait to see how those conversations happen and what the results of that are.
Yeah, Ken, it must be a completely different experience when you submit and let go of it and see what comes back, as opposed to when you're a judge, right?
Oh yeah, for sure it is. I think actually one of the challenges this year for any design competition is just that it's just much harder to photograph a project, right? Like everybody wants to see the work that you did in the last 12 months or 6 months or something like that. And obviously in the last 6 months, it's been a challenge to photograph. I mean, we are still attempting just now to photograph some stuff, but it's a challenge. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think in the future, depending on how long all this lasts, there might need to be an extension on, when you submit a project, because a lot of I'm not sure, it's got to be less than 2 years old or something like that. Mm-hmm. John, I forget, something like that.
Yes, yeah. Within the last 2 years, yeah.
So that's a challenge for us, and also, you want to get people in your photographs, right? And that, it's just a challenge to do that.
Yeah, we'll learn. We'll definitely.
Yeah, no, we absolutely will learn.
Yes. Yeah, I know Eric's out there shooting, so.
Yeah, I know, and we're having projects delivering. They're delivering, but there a lot of them that are delivered recently in the last couple months are a lot of them are just sitting idle. Really, they haven't had anybody really come in yet. But we're looking forward. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna
get through this. Okay, John, like a favorite memory from the last 15 years of the Shaw Contract Design Awards?
Wow, that is so tough. I think it probably would maybe some of the early years where we were working on the program and it began to grow, and some of the judging that we did, because we've had people like Ken Wilson, we've had Karen Daroff, we've had Jim Looney, Ellen Albert from MTV Viacom. So we've had these amazing group of people. And I think for me, maybe it's building that community of friends now who are in the profession, that we've built that network, and just watching how passionate they were about the judging. There's been no physical violence yet. It's been all, but it really gets intense. Again, they're very invested in the year they're judging, that the projects they select represent the best of global design that year, and almost their point of view of what design is. And so I think those, probably just the connections and relationships through the years of the judging and the network we've developed.
Yeah, I think, and Ken, I think you were saying that too. It is about community. Some of it is about your own staff and putting it out there. For you, John, is seeing the work and having that community of designers and the jury is really exciting. So are people still submitting, and how do they do that?
Yes, so you go to shawcontract.com, and the design award page will be right on the home page to submit. It's really easy. And if you have any challenges, you can contact us on the website. We're happy to reach out to the firm and walk you through making sure your project is submitted. And best of luck to everybody.
And Ken, are you guys submitting?
That's the next one on our list. So we'll have to look and look at our projects and see which one you Shaw. But I'm sure, I think just about all of them do. We have an excellent rep in DC. So,
well, there you go. Well,
Melinda, but anyway, we will definitely submit something.
Well, first of all, congratulations on 15 years of the Shaw Contract Design Awards. That's a big deal. And I know, because we've developed and grown a lot of awards, that once it's real, you really know it, and the industry knows it, and now the world knows it, John. So we're really excited to support you and celebrate you, and really celebrate great design.
Yeah, thank you. And it's I mean, it is a passion of our brand, and it's so key to our culture and our ethos. And we cannot wait to see all the projects from around the globe that get entered this year.
There you go. So don't forget, what's the deadline?
Second week in October.
Second week of October. Go to shawcontract.com.
That's it.
Yeah, go to Shaw, and you'll see it. You'll see it. Submit your best, and who knows? You might win. You just might win. So thank you so much, Ken. Congratulations on all your success and everything you do for the industry to move us forward. I really appreciate you as a person, as a designer, as an advocate for sustainability and all those good things. And John, our relationship and partnership carry on, and we're so proud to be part of any of the collaborations that you do, because you mean so much to us. So go forth and design, everybody, and let's get past this darn thing, right?
Amen.
And celebrate great design. That's what it's all about.